Alright, so how do we approach this? Now, notice that this is from the top, you can see this. This is what you see from looking at the top. Alright? Same can be said for the bottom. Just imagine yourself as a bird's eye view. You're looking down and you'll see this figure. Now for the sides, you'll see that it's like this. Because you can't see what's behind it. And we don't know if it's the same because you're looking from the side. So you'll see this figure. And for the front, you'll see this figure. This just tells you there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5. 5 squares arranged like this. Alright? Problem 4, how many unit cubes are needed to build a stack of cubes which has the following views? I'll let you guys have a try on this question and tell me your answers to chat. Alright guys, let's get started with this question. So basically how do we approach this? Now notice this is the front, alright? So if we're facing right forward to it, you'll see this as a figure. Alright? So what this figure can be like this. We have this staircase-like figure going down like this. That's already 6. From the top, what do we see? We see this figure. So from the top, we can imagine it being like this. We already have 3 over here. We already have 3. And we have 2. Alright? Yeah, so basically, we want this to be 2. There has to be 2 squares, so we can connect it more. Add 2 more. In this case. Since we already had 3 over here. Now for the side, if we looked at it from the side, it also fills it in because looking from the side we have 3 squares over here and 2 squares over here. 3 squares over here, 2 squares over here. So that just completes it all. So the answer is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure you don't overcount over here. That's a very important part. Make sure you don't overcount. So the answer to this question is just A. Alright? Now let's move on to problem 5. The front, bottom, and side views of a three-dimensional figure are shown. Individual unit cubes are stacked to form the figure. What is the least possible number of cubes needed to build this figure? Let's take a try on this question and tell me through private chat. All right, guys, let's get started with this question. So basically, how do we do this question? Well, notice that first off, we can first draw this figure. We'll do some improvements if we need to, right? That's our figure. So we're looking at the front. Boom, boom, boom. That's our figure how it's supposed to look like. There's gonna be 3D cubes, but we'll add them later on. Now, for the bottom to happen, on the back, we can, let's say, I'll show you the back showcase. So we got this big fat chunk of cubes right over here. On the back, there's one layer over here. We will add another layer right over here. Well, another side is gonna be two cubes right over here. And the third cube, since there's three over here, there's three. There's three. The third one is also gonna be here. But to account for this, the side, we're looking at it from the side. One more. So we have to extend this all the way up to look like one more. This is just an example. It's not going to be 100% accurate, but I think you get the case. So I'll just remove this part real quick. All right, so what we have is this two slabs over here. And then we have the third one that's extended all the way to 6 blocks above. So there's going to be 6 blocks over here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's 6 blocks right over here. So from here, what do we do? Well, there's going to be a 6 block over here. We can notice that to minimize this, we want to minimize, remember? We can delete this entire portion right over here. We can delete this entire portion. You can just erase this. Now all we're left with is this figure. Notice that this is not entirely to scale. So basically there's going to be a behind this one. There's going to be a tower over there. So we draw it better. My drawing skills aren't really that good. From here, we can still have this block because it's very important, or it wouldn't be a 3D solid. This has to be connected. Behind this, there's gonna be two squares right over here. The two cubes that we talked about over here. And then we draw this big tower. Like these are just only connected by this point right over here. That point right there. That'll be 6 units. 6 unit cubes. Alright? From here, you see this big tower. 6 unit cubes. Yeah. From there, you just count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 plus 6 is 14, 15, and that's it. All we have to do. And that's how you solve it. So it's just 15 or A. Alright. Now let's move on to problem 6. Using the following pictures, find the value of a 3-dimensional figure. I'll let you guys have a try on this question and tell me your answers through chat. Alright, guys. This is also kind of confusing. Also think it's kind of confusing. So let me draw a diagram to make life much easier. Alright? It's quite complicated, but let me draw this diagram real quick. Alright, so I got this. From here, there's like this. Let me draw this diagram much better because I'm not really a good drawer. This is like this. This is the diagram. Let me label this real quick. This is the 5 over here from the upper view. This is 5. Uh, this is 10. This is 5 also. This is 5. 5. Uh, yeah, so basically you can draw this down. This would be 5, also 5. So this entire bottom length is just 10. And we also know this is also 5. 5. A bunch of 5s. And notice from here, you look at these two sides. They're basically can be connected to this one, can be drawn to this side. This one can be drawn to this side. All right. So I hope this helps out. I'll let you guys continue on trying to solve this question. All right. I guess let's get started with this question. So how do we solve this? Well, first notice that we want to find the value of this figure. So this is basically the value is basically the sum of these two figures. One of them is a triangular prism. One of these is a right prism with a trapezoid as the base. So basically, how do we process? Find the area of these two prisms. For the first one, I'll just skip through the calculation because I don't have a lot of space. 5 times 5 divided by 2 equals 5 times 5 divided by 2 times 10 is for this area. And I'll shade it in green to show you what it is. This area right here. This area is 5 times 5 divided by 2 times 10. And for the other one, let's do it in red. This is basically base times height, or 5 plus 10 times 5 divided by 2. And don't forget to multiply by 5, or the height, right over here. Alright, also over here, by the way. From here, all you have to do is just add them all up, and you should get B as your answer. Alright, and for the red one, let's do it in pink. This is the red one. Alright, this one's kind of tricky in like drawing the figure. But anyways, let's move on to example 10. The drawing is shown below shows a base plan of a solid figure made of stacked cubes, which of the following solid figures is represented by the base plan above. I'll let you guys have a try on this question and tell me your answers through chat. All right, guys, let's get started with this question. So, how do we approach this? Well, we just follow the base plan. All right, as we talked about before, in like what this question, base plan tells you how many cubes are stacked on top of it. For this one, there's two cubes stacked on top of it, and it should have four in the back, three in the middle, and two in the front. Four in the back, three in the middle, two in the front. Only two of them satisfy, B and A. Now let's look at this. Let's look at this row. 2, 1. All right. This does not give you two. It only gives this as one. This gives you two, but gives this also one. So this satisfies works since that's the only option left we have. So the answer is B. All right. Now let's move on to example 11. Figure 1 is called a stack map or a base map, base plan. The numbers tell you how many cubes are stacked in each position. Figure 2 shows these cubes, and figure 3 shows the view of the stacked cubes as seen from the front. Which of the following is the front view for the stack map in figure 4? Let's guys have a try on this question and tell me answers through chat. Alright guys, let's get started with this question. Basically, we are basically looking at this. Alright? And you want to find the following is the front view of the stack for the stack map on figure 4. Alright? So we just want to look at the front view. So what does the front view look like? Well, notice that from here, we can get this figure. On the back, there's 2. That's what the back is. And then we add this one over here. And the one over here. Over here. From there, you get, if we overlap everything, we get 3 on the bottom. Over here. Oh, this one doesn't have. Oh, this one does have, since there's 2 over here. And then 3 over here on the middle. And 4 on the top, on the very right one. And that'll be B. So the answer to this question is just B. Alright. Now let's move on to example 12. 6 squares are colored front and back. Red, R is red, B is blue, O is orange, yellow, Y is yellow, G is green, W is white. They are hinged together as shown and folded to form a Q. The face opposite to the white face is. Let's just have a try on this question and tell me through chat. Alright, for this question, you can literally just make an entire paper and then fold it up together. From there, if you were to visualize it with your brain, you'll see that the opposite to the white face is B or blue or A. Since if we fold it, we fold this forward, flip it, we fold this way, and once we folded it like this. This is G. We got this extra blue. We can fold it over. And this is Y and this is W. We can fold that piece over to get that blue is be opposite of W. Alright, now let's do example 13. When this net of 6 squares is cut and folded to form a cube, what is the product of the numbers on the 4 places adjacent to the one labeled with A1? I'll take another try on this question and tell me answers to chat. Alright, guys, let's get started with this question. So basically, how do we approach this? Well, same exact thing as we did before, we make the cube. Alright, from this, we get this is 1. And once we fold, we get, this is the top, it's going to be 6. The side is 2. This side is 4. This side is 5. And the bottom is 3. So from there, we get 2, 3, 4, and 6. Multiplying all of this up gives you 144. So the answer to this question is 144. Alright, so that's it for today's class. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye!